everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to go through my March TBR. So I know this is a bit late into the month. I did originally film this in February so that I could have it up in time for March 1st. However, the day that I filmed it, my dog very tragically and unexpectedly passed away and I could not go through with editing that video because he is in it. So I just decided we'll redo it. I'm sorry that it's late as well. I haven't been able to sit down and film in about 2 weeks, which is why this is coming at you late, and I have already read some of the books that's on my TBR this month, but we'll go through them anyway. To start off with new releases, we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is the third book in the Rose Hill series. The Rose Hill series is not my favorite series of Elsie Silver's, so I didn't really have very high expectations for this one. This one is a marriage of convenience, single dad, small town. Single dad, small town are like my favorite tropes ever, so I really love this concept. It wasn't one that I was like die-hard excited about, but I was still going to read it because it's Elsie Silver and I love it. This came out March 4th. I have read it, I have annotated it. You will get my thoughts on this on my March wrap-up. So I have Story of My Life by Lucy Score. This is her new romance. This has also just released. It released the 11th of March. I obviously went to the works to get the sprayed edges. I love the sprayed edges of this one. I feel like this is my favorite sprayed edge that the works has done. I don't actually know much about this because I originally wasn't going to read this, but I do love her books and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna read it. I'll probably love it because she's one of my favorite authors. I know that it has something to do with the girl is a writer and she's on some sort of deadline for her book and she moves to a small town to try and get inspiration. It's something along those lines, and she has some sort of grumpy neighbor, grumpy contractor, I think it is. Very excited to read this one. Then we have A Little Broken by Kelsey Ray. This is the 6th book, I think, in the Little Things series. This is a next gen series to the Don't Let Me series, which is an ice hockey romance series. This one I'm a little nervous about because the FMC in this book, you don't really like her throughout books 1 to 5. She doesn't have a great character, so I feel like we're gonna see some character development in here, which would be great. She's not my favorite, so I don't know how to feel about this. However, Kelsey Ray's writing style is amazing. I will like always talk about her books. I think they're great and I think they're definitely underhyped. I don't really know what the blurb of this is because it actually hasn't been revealed yet, which is really weird because it comes out on the 20th of March. But because it's Kelsey Ray and it's this series and I've loved this series and I feel like every book in this series has gotten better, so I do know I'm going to love it. I just don't know how much. On my Kindle, I want to read A City of Gods and Monsters. So this book has been making its rounds on Book Talk lately. I know it's some sort of like urban mythological book, like there's vampires, werewolves, all that kind of thing, and it's a human girl, I think. Everybody seems to be loving it. Everybody's recommending it. I know so far there's only 3 books in the series that are out. I think the 4th book comes out pretty soon. It's a really chunky book. I think it's like 700 pages, and my issue is it's in third person. I don't particularly love books that are written in third person. However, we'll just see how it goes. If I don't like it, I will DNF it. Like, that's the thing about me. If I don't like a book, I will DNF it. I'm not afraid to DNF. I feel like I've been in a fantasy mood since my dog passed away. I haven't really wanted to be in real life scenarios, so I feel like fantasy is kind of the way I need to go right now. I also have A Kiss of Iron. Again, I've seen this do the rounds on Book Talk slightly. I haven't seen it been hyped up that much, but it's always coming up on my recommended on my Kindle. Again, another book I literally know nothing about or can't remember, but as I said, it's a fantasy. I feel like it's a book that I'll probably enjoy, and I think it's a completed series, so I at least know that I can read all of the books back to back if I like the first one. Then I have Expiration Dates. So this was sent to me by the publisher very kindly. So this is about a girl that every time she dates a guy, she will get a card through her door with his name and an expiration date of how long their relationship will last. It's just something that's always happened to her and everybody else finds it really weird. But one day she gets a name card with the guy's name and without a expiration date, and she's really confused, doesn't know what that means. I have already read this one. It's pretty short, so it was very easy to fly through. The concept of it sounded amazing. I was really excited for it. Again, you will hear my in-depth thoughts on this in my March wrap-up. Lastly, I wanted to reread the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang. So I'm rereading this in March because I kind of like to know what books I am reading at certain points. I had this on my list of books that I wanted to reread this year before King of Envy comes out. King of Envy comes out in April. Now there are a lot of books coming out in April, and I just don't think I will have the time to reread this series right before King of Envy comes out. So I decided just to put it in for March. I also feel like at the moment, with how I'm feeling, rereads are just kind of the way to go. So this is definitely a series that I want to reread. King of Wrath is the first one. I have already reread this one and annotated it. Anytime I reread a book, it's because I want to annotate it. This one is a Marriage of Convenience. I have read so much Marriage of Convenience lately because Wildside was also Marriage of Convenience. And then in February, I read the Winslow series, which is an entire Marriage of Convenience series between 6 siblings. And I also read Finding Hayes, which is Marriage of Convenience. So I feel like I'm Marriage of Convenience out. But it was really nice rereading this, so I'm definitely excited to continue rereading the series. Then we have King of Pride, which is kind of a workplace romance. It's more of like she works in it at an exclusive club and he's a member there, and you're not supposed to be with members of the club, so it's sort of a forbidden romance as well. They can't deny that they have some chemistry. This is personally one of my favorites in the series. I feel like this is my second favorite. Not many people like this. I feel like books in series that people don't like, I love, and then the books that people do like, I don't like. Then there's King of Greed. Now this is a marriage in crisis book. I don't like those books. I didn't like this the first time I read it. I just feel like in books, if you have a marriage in crisis, there's not really much that you can redeem in the marriage. And I also like seeing the couple connecting for the first time and going through all their firsts with each other, whereas with a marriage in crisis, they already have done all that and you don't really see all that. I especially don't like it when they get divorced in the book and then back together, because I'm like, you got divorced for a reason. This is not one of my favorites. I feel like a lot of people didn't like this one when it came out, so this one I'm not that excited to reread. And the last one is King of Sloth. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite Anna Huang books. I love this. I gave it 5 stars when I read it the first time. It's also the chunkiest in the series, which I actually really like because I feel like you get to know the characters a lot more. This is about Xavier and Sloane is Xavier's PR manager. She doesn't really like him and he likes bugging her, and it just goes from there. I love how in-depth this book goes. I love learning about their families and their relationships and all of the hard topics in it, so I'm really excited to reread this one. I know I'm probably still going to give it a 5-star, but we'll see. I do tend to change my opinion a lot when I reread a book. Sometimes I'm like, I don't understand why I gave that rating to a book, so I'm hoping this is a 5-star. That would be really nice if it does. Those are all of the books that I want to read in March / already kind of have. Thank you guys for waiting like 2 weeks into the month for me to finally upload this video for you. I'm really hoping that these books I love, these are probably going to be the only books that I read this month, but we'll see. So thank you guys so much for joining, and like and subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you next time.